PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4, how do I feel about it? Well, let me explain. So today I'm doing a list for y'all here. It's hidden treasures on PS4. I'm going to talk about 10 video games that I feel are underrated, underappreciated. And admittedly, a lot of these games would probably play hell of a lot better on PC. You know, one that I forgot to write down in here was Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm playing that recently, but I didn't feel it was right to put it on because I'm not even through the damn prologue yet. So it wouldn't be fair for me to throw on a game that I haven't even finished 20% of, you know? Most of these games I'm at least about halfway through. If not, I've at least delved into it at some point. And actually, in fact, in one of these games, I got the Platinum Trophy. In another, I'm damn close to it. And most of these I'm about like halfway through like the trophy list, if you will. But so today I was scanning through the new deals that the PS Store has. They got this summer sale thing, and it's just complete and utter dreck on here, man. There's nothing like they got The Witcher 3, and I'm interested in getting that one. I still haven't played that one yet, but you know, I've got too many games that are way too similar. I mentioned Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I'm also playing Dragon Age Inquisition, which seems very similar gameplay wise to something like Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And just looking at these deals for this, it's just utter garbage, just garbage on here. You know, like I'm looking at MLB The Show. They got like this deal for, what is it, 24,000, 20 studs, whatever the hell that means, for $18.89. It's like currency in games. Currency in games. It's not enough to buy the damn base game, but you also have to get like season passes apparently to some of this. Like I damn near bought this Ace Combat game today, you know, like because that's on for about 25 bucks on here. I think I might go for the Spyro Crash Bandicoot trilogy, because they got this set of them on sale for $49.99. I might settle for getting those two on here because I grew up on those games. And, you know, I love both those characters, so, you know, I'd be compelled to replay them since I haven't played them, obviously, since the PS1 era. So yeah, like, there's one game on here that I've seen so far that I actually have that I got listed on this list here that I'll get to in a moment, but by God, this list is so mediocre. Most of it is just, like complete and utter dreck, like Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey, which I hear is just one of the most abysmal games of all time. You know, and they're selling that absolute nonsense for $26.74, and that's half off, so it's regular $33.50. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous for some thrown together slop like that. You've got to be kidding me. And, you know, like, I'm looking at this, and, like, the majority of these games are just, like, Final Fantasy. Every other game I look at on here is, like, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy. Seems like I can't go, like, through, you know, like, a set of 9 without coming across yet another Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy everywhere. Or the Sims, or NHL sports crap games, stuff like that. Fucking Farming Simulator. Give me a break. You know, just complete and utter garbage in terms of the sales they got on this PS Store for this time frame, this summer sale. Absolute dreck, in my opinion. So, screw this crap. I'm going to bring to light in alphabetical order here. I got them 10 games, plus I got some honorable mentions I'll bring up at the end, but these are 10 games that I've been playing recently, back and forth, and you know, I've had a fun time with them. And admittedly, I'll say this off the bat, I don't think any of these games are perfect to a certain extent, except for maybe one, actually two, if not three. I'll say in my opinion, are at least perfect games where I could go back any day and replay them and have a blast of a time. So number 1, in alphabetical order here, we got Agents of Mayhem. You know, there was this Xbox exclusive, and it was in my mind earlier. I guess Terry Crews is in the 3rd game, but the 3rd game I heard was just a complete and utter mess. It's some sort of superhero game where you're hopping around as this futuristic cop, and you know, it's open world setting or whatnot, very colorful and whatnot. So Agents of Mayhem looked like a version of that game, and what the hell that game that I'm referring to is, I have no idea. But the 3rd one I know of, apparently Terry Crews was a actor involved in the game. Not sure if he was a main character. He probably was, because he was a part of the marketing for that. I almost want to call it Borderlands, but I know it's not Borderlands. That's like a first-person shooter game. Agents of Mayhem, this is a 3rd-person open-world action game. I've been having a lot of fun with this recently. It's very vulgar. I noticed a review for it online mentioned that it's basically an R-rated version of G.I. Joe, and that's absolutely true. This is very vulgar. Is it violent? Because most of the time I think you're just shooting drones or what have you. So you know, it's definitely got an edge to it, if you will. And yeah, I don't got much to say about this one. I mean, I wish I could have started off on a more interesting pick, but I always see this game on sale for a decent price. And, you know, I think I bought it for like $5, which is a steal of a deal in my opinion, especially for the amount of content in this game. It's really impressive, the fact that it's on sale for so low, so frequently. So I give kudos to them for that. And, you know, also I love the art style to this game. It's very colorful, you know, and yeah, I just very much enjoyed the gameplay. It's a lot of fun. It reminded me of a cross between Overwatch and that other game franchise that I can't even think of right now. And I never played the Saints Row games, but I guess this is from the same developer or a publisher or what have you. So it's got that. So if you're a fan of Saints Row, I guess you might be compelled by Agents of Mayhem. Number 2, this is a far more interesting game. This is Citizens of Earth. This was a fun, like a top-down sort of. You're playing like the mayor, I guess, of this town, or the president of the world. I think you're playing as. And yeah, I just found this game to be a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of stuff like Pokemon or what have you, because you enter into these battle scenarios, and you have your mother as a companion, and I think your brother's a companion too. And like as you go along, you gather more companions, and you pick up resources, and you do these missions. And there's not much to this game. The biggest disappointment, though, for me was the lack of a platinum trophy. That was a big disappointment in my opinion. But other than that, I have no complaints with this game. I love the art style. I love this kind of game. It definitely reminded me of, you know, being a kid again and playing those Pokemon Red, Blue, whatever games, Gold, what have you. Yeah, and I always loved the Pokemon games, and this game sort of harkened back to that, but it has this sort of political satire, comedic edge to it, which I really appreciated. You know, especially in the time we're living in now, I find it's kind of surprisingly relevant, I guess. I don't know, but don't make no mistake that this is a very fun, lighthearted game. I think it's rated E for everyone. If not, it's like a very light T rating. So, like, of all the games I think I've got listed here, except for maybe 1 or 2, or actually 3 that I'm looking at near the bottom, this is probably the most kid-friendly of the video games that I have on here. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So number 3, this game, I love this game. This is the most fun I've ever had trying to obtain a platinum trophy, you know, for all the PS4 games I've gotten platinum trophy for, whether it be Spider-Man or the Lord of the Rings Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor game. I got a platinum trophy for that as well. Some random like first-person like shooter, like tank, I guess, shooter game. You know, I got a platinum trophy for that. I can't even remember what it's called, but I beat it like over the course of like a week or two, and it only took me about an hour or two to get the platinum trophy. So I could have literally played it in an hour or two and got the platinum trophy and just been like, all right, done, get off my system. But number 3, this is Everspace. This is a marvelous game. If you love the idea of flying ships in space, you can't go wrong with Everspace, in my opinion. I would highly recommend this game to anybody and everybody. In fact, I think it might possibly be my favorite game on this list. It's a toss-up between this and I'd say the number 9 spot is pretty damn close to it as well in terms of quality. But yeah, I can't recall having this much fun with a space shooter, but let me tell you straight off the bat, and I had a YouTuber on here, I can't remember who, but God bless them for recommending to change the control scheme, because the general control scheme that you start off with this game is very cumbersome. It's very awkward. I hated it at first, you know, and the premise of this game is that you're playing this guy who's got this infinite number of clones. So every time you die, you're able to up your stats and get better with each and every clone version of yourself. And, you know, I found the story surprisingly compelling. Yeah, I just got so addicted to just gathering resources and upping my stats. And I haven't even upped all the stats for this video game. I think it's it's literally the only platinum trophy that I've earned where, like, I'm still compelled with playing the game. I'm still compelled by just, you know, the flight mechanics and the dogfights you get into. And there's some epic sequences in this. Like, you know, the way they come out of hyperspace is, at one point it scared the hell out of me, because like there's this big ship, you know, they give you this warning, incoming warships and what have you, and at first when you first hear it you're like, whatever, bring it on, I'm just gonna blow them away. And the first time this happened scared the shit out of me, man. Like, it comes out of nowhere, boom. It's sort of like, the closest comparison I can make is that Rogue One Star Wars movie, where you know, that big Star Destroyer comes out of nowhere, comes out of hyperspace, and boom, like some of the ships like explode around it. It's very much like that, where it's like such a big object, and it's like, wow, it's impressive. And everything I was just impressed about with this game, from the graphics to, you know, after a while, the controls. I appreciate the fact that you're able to find a control scheme that's suitable to you. If you get this game, I'd recommend you find the one that's suitable to you right from the get-go, because you will be dying a lot, but it's better to die with the comfort of good controls rather than controls that are just frustrating and you're trying to aim, but it's instead turning the ship, and it's like, no, I want to, like, give me a break. But thankfully, yeah, they have those options in the control menu here for this game, and I'm trying to think of any flaw to this game. I honestly can't think of one, because I had such a blast, absolute blast with this game. Highly recommended. And it's funny, because, like, you know, when I think of video game movies that could, or I mean video games that could make great movie adaptations, I think of something like this. You know, like this could make a very interesting movie adaptation. I like the relationship between the pilot character, I forget his name, but he's got this AI companion that's basically breaking down the plot to him, and, you know, the further you progress, the more you unravel. And I just found that very, very interesting. And it reminded me, in a sense, of like something like Destroy All Humans, where you're playing Crypto, and if you die, you come back and you notice you got a different serial number. So yeah, I'd highly recommend Everspace, you guys. This was a delightful discovery, and yeah, I couldn't have been happier to get this game, experience this game, and absolutely adore this game. So number 4, we got Frostpunk. This game, wow. So the PS4 store, they or PS Plus or whatever. Oh, I'm looking around. Of course, I didn't leave a bottle of water anywhere. So watch, I'm just gonna rifle through these last ones. So number 4, Frostpunk. I was going to lead into it with, you know, PS Plus, they always have these free games on there, and they had this one called Cities Skylines. And by God, I hate that game. I absolutely outright hate that game on the PS4. It is, like, it's probably better on PC, so I don't want to get that twisted. It's probably a great game, but on the PS4, I was just immediately bored by it, and shocked by how bored I was by Cities Skylines. And most of the free games that they offer on PS Plus, I find, are just complete and utter garbage. Quite honestly, garbage. Games that I would never ever think about playing. Quite frankly, you know, the one that I can remember from recently is the BioShock collection, which I'm also looking at here on the PS Store. And but I remember playing that back in the PS3 days, and you know, not being too compelled by at least the first BioShock game. I haven't delved into like Infinite or the second one or what have you. But Frostpunk, this is like a gosh, I don't know how to describe this game. It's basically like you basically play God in this game to a certain extent. You're or the commander of all these people living in this post-apocalyptic ice age, where everything, literally hell is frozen over. Everything's just frozen, and the only way this group of people can survive is by, like, they got this mechanical like heater or what have you in the middle of this like big like crater or what have you, like that they start to encamp around. You literally, as a player, get to make like tents and buildings around this this steampunk inspired heater that is literally keeping you and your friends alive. And it's very interesting the way you can pave the way to which how these people survive. You can either have them become cannibals, I presume, at a later point. I always try to play it as nice as possible, you know. Like I try to be as reasonable as possible, but sometimes the NPCs in this game piss me off, because I'll be like, oh, we gotta have soup instead of regular meals because we gotta conserve on food, and you know, right away that brings down the morale and everybody's bitching and whining about it. And at one point in the game, they have you go like, if you don't serve us regular meals for like a certain set of time, then we're gonna like negatively affect morale and what have you. So this game is frustrating to a certain extent, but I feel that frustration is earned because this game controls well. This game is really quite compelling. I was compelled right from the get-go with the simple story that it tells, you know, about these people trying to survive in this. It almost harkens back to something like that Bong Joon-ho movie. It's on the train. Snowpiercer kind of reminded me of something like that. And this game, I don't got much to say about it, but if you're a fan of this type of game, I don't know if you'd call it a strategy or something. I'm not like a video game critic per se. I'm just happy to recommend to you guys games that I like, and Frostpunk was definitely one, because this isn't a genre of video game that I'm typically interested in. But the premise of it and the steampunk aesthetics of this game really impressed me. graphically impressive as well. And yeah, everything about this game really works. And any problem I have with it is purely because, you know, it's not a game that's typically for me. This is not the type of game that I would typically seek out. But I'm happy I did, because I've gotten a lot out of it, and I can't wait to revisit it at some point in time, because I'm sort of like stuck at like basically the hardest part of this game. Everybody wants to go to London, and morale is low, and it's just at this point in this video game where it's like, oh no, it's so frustrating, yet it's also addicting. It's really compelling stuff, and yeah, I'd be happy to revisit it at some point in time. Anyhow, enough about Frostpunk. Next one, number 5, Gauntlet. I guess this was one of the OG dungeon crawlers remastered for the PS4 here. I think it's brilliant. This was a lot of fun. I normally play as the bow and arrow guy because I like the range and what have you, but you can play as a warrior and a wizard and stuff like that. I haven't really delved into those characters yet. I'm about halfway through this game playing as the archer. I might just quickly plow through the rest of the game, beat it, and you know, try it again, because as like a different character. Because this would be one of those games I'd be compelled to try for the platinum trophy. It seems like rather grindy overall, but it feels like a worthy endeavor, because this game is a lot of fun. It reminded me of when I was a kid. I played this game at my babysitter's place, because he had like a PS2, or actually an Xbox, because I was the one with PS2 at the time. But there were certain games that weren't available, and Gauntlet that I'm playing here on PS4 reminded me of something like Baldur's Gate. I'm pretty sure Baldur's Gate was for the PlayStation 2 as well or something, but I never played it myself. But Baldur's Gate was a fun game that's sort of similar to this, except that this is more like level based, whereas that I think you could like openly explore the world and gather resources in a more open world sort of sense, I presume, from what I'm remembering. Like this was like over a decade ago, mind you. But yeah, Gauntlet, not much to say about this. This is just a fun dungeon crawler hack and slash type video game. If you love a good challenge, I'd recommend playing this game on the hardest difficulty, which is what I'm doing now. I'm a madman for playing it on the hardest difficulty, because, you know, there have been times where I'm just like, I hate this, but at the same time I'm saying I hate this, I love it. So it's this constant back and forth. This is so hard, but I love it, I can't put it down. And yeah, not much to say about this one, but it's a really fun game, and I'm happy I got it. And mind you, a lot of these games I got for real bloody cheap. I think the only one that I maybe paid, or actually no, I got Frostpunk for half off as well. So yeah, most of these games, if not all of them, I got on sale. What a cheapskate, right? Now, number 6 now, we got this video game. And it's very similar to Frostpunk in terms of aesthetic and setting. It's number 6. This is called Impact Winter. And I gotta forewarn you guys right off the hop. This is one of those damn games that I love. This is a game that feels tailor-made for a schmuck like me. I love survival elements. I love the top-down angle. You know, I love, you know, like just the survival aspect alone of this game, gathering resources, exploring new territories, feeling like there's an endless possibility at, you know, building stuff. You know, I haven't even built half the things in this game. Like, apparently there's a snowmobile you can make to get around much easier. But for that, there's like a win and a lose type scenario. There's a give and a take, you know. Like, if you get the snowmobile, I guess, at one point, you have your character, your technician character sort of make it for you, your engineer type character or what have you, make it for you. That depletes a hell of a lot of gas, and you need gas to keep the fire going, or at least you need a lot of wood and resources that are flammable, obviously. So there's this interesting dynamic of, you know, if I do this, then it affects this that way, and I I love this game for it. But the biggest damn problem is that this game's loading times are absolutely outright criminal. Criminal! Absolutely. Like, and it drives me nuts, because I would 100% recommend this game to everybody had it not been for these damn loading times. I cannot stress enough. The loading in this is literally criminal. How a game can take this long, like literally feels like 2-3 whole minutes to load. It feels that way. It's probably realistically closer to a minute, but the fact that it feels as long as a like a punk song or what have you is ridiculous. You know? Like, I shouldn't have to wait 2 minutes just to go outside a damn door. It should load like that. This game doesn't take up too much space. I think it's about 10 gigabytes or less to run. So what the hell it needs so much damn time in regards to the loading screen is beyond me. And also, this game is buggy. It crashed on me a handful of times, maybe even more. So this game is a real frustrating one, because I love it, but at the same time I bloody well hate it, because this game needs to be updated now. Like, and I would absolutely love a remastered version of this where there's no loading times. There shouldn't be any damn loading times in this game, quite frankly, at all. The fact that there are genuinely pisses me off. Genuinely. Because I'm playing right now, like, the old Grand Theft Auto video games, you know, and they have literal 5 to 10 second loading times when you go to a new section of the map. 5 or 10 seconds. This is PS2 era. PS2 era, and it takes that long. 5 or 10 seconds, boom, done. And they still got the radio playing in the background, so you're not completely left to the dogs. Oh, God. Long loading times are the bane of my existence, man. I don't get why they're a thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why the hell can't you patch that? Why can't you update your damn game, you morons? Incompetence, man, because this is such a great game, but it's such a disappointment at the same time, and I struggle to recommend it to people based on the loading times alone. And also the fact that there's quite a lot of frustrating bullshit in this game. Like, there's like the way the camera is top down. I almost wish it was third person. I would genuinely love a remastered version of Impact Winter. I think this is a wonderful game, wonderful premise. But man, oh man, there's so many areas, major areas, mind you, that cannot be overlooked. They are just ridiculous. You know, early on, you'll get attacked by wolves constantly, and you can hardly see them coming. Literally, they'll pop on screen, and you got a second or two to react, because you'll just mindlessly be walking along, like holding the analog stick in one direction, because it takes your character so damn long to trudge through the snow. And you know, I enjoy that part of the game, because you really feel like the impact, no pun intended, of this winter on these characters. But, you know, at the same time, with the damn loading, the fact that your character walks so bloody slow is a big fucking frustration, in my opinion, and a needless one. And I really hope that someday we could see a remaster of this, because everything surrounding this game is pretty damn great, in my opinion. It's got a wonderful soundtrack from this guy Mitch Murder, who does these sort of 80s synth style soundtracks, and he's a great artist. I love that. So ever since the movie Drive, I've been obsessed with 80s synth sort of music, and this game definitely delivered, at least on that front. Visually, aesthetically, the storyline's interesting, but you know, they don't have much of a storyline outside of like a few snippets that you get from the loading screens, unfortunately. And it's like, could you guys not at least, like, if you wanted to make the loading screens that long, needlessly long at that, could you not at least have some illustrations in there to give us a sense of what the hell happened, instead of having to read it in the tiniest text at the bottom of the bloody screen? It's just monotonous, and it's ridiculous. And, you know, every time you make a mistake and you realize, and you go outside and you realize, oh crap, I left this one important object that I need to you know, go to this next area, I left it inside the camp. And you just go, oh, now I have to wait another minute or two for the damn loading to go inside, go into the part where the chest of collectibles and items is, take it out, go back outside, wait another minute or two for the fucking loading, and then, God, man, it's such a frustrating game. Of all the games I got listed on here, this is by far the most frustrating one. I was so pissed off with some of the bullshit that they pulled with this game that could have easily been fixed had they actually played the game. It feels like they didn't even bother. It feels like they were on a deadline, and it's like, oh, we're done. Oh, we gotta release it. Don't bother updating it though. Don't bother. Let them just pay whatever for it. I don't think this was like a full triple A, like full price video game. It's usually on sale here on the PS Store now, and I reckon it's probably available on other platforms like PC. I reckon it would probably play a bit better on PC. I'm not quite sure, but there are certain parts in this game that feel very PC-like, you know, similar to how I feel about Frostpunk and stuff like that. Anyhow, moving on from this frustration, you know, and again, I love Impact Winter, but God, they could have done better with those loading times. Next game, number 7, much more pleasant endeavor in my opinion. This was a lovely game. Number 7, My Time at Portia, or Portia. I'm still unsure of how to pronounce it because the dialogue in this game, like the voice acting in this game, is pretty terrible. And like at certain points, I swear they call it Portia and Portia, or like they call it two separate things, and I'm like, what the hell is it, guys? Like I say My Time at Portia, you know, just because I say it that way, you know. But the fact that that's really my only problem with this game is a testament to how much fun I had with this game. I heard a reviewer here on YouTube, and actually it's the top review, or the second top one on YouTube if you look it up for the amount of views that it has. Like it's either the first or second video that I saw on this game, and the review that I'm talking about, in the title of the review, they relate it to Legend of Zelda, the newest one. I forget what they call the Breath of the Wild. They were comparing it to something like that, and yeah, like I don't have a Nintendo Switch or whatever to play that game on. But I'm happy to compromise with something like this because this was a real delight, guys. This was a cross between Zelda and Harvest Moon, and I've always loved Harvest Moon. Save the Homeland is one of my favorite games of all time. I think that game's beautiful. I still play it here because they got the PS2 version on PS4, and you know, as soon as I discovered that, I was like, oh yeah, got that game right away. I don't even think I waited for a sale because it's just $19.99, and I'm just like, screw it. This game is just, I love the Harvest Moon, or that game. That's the only Harvest Moon game that I've ever played. And looking at what the hell they're doing with the Harvest Moon games now, it looks like complete dreck, and it looks like totally reliant on taking as much money from the player base as possible, and I hate games like that. Absolutely hate them. My Time at Portia, though, this was a lot of fun. I still go back to this game from time to time, but honestly, guys, I have so many damn games to play through that I find it tough to stay on one for too long. Normally, whenever I get even slightly bored by something, I'm just like, all right, on to the next one, because I got so many games that... Literally, the other day, I just finally started playing Far Cry 3 for the first time, and I only got about 2 hours into that before I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm back to playing Grand Theft Auto 3 for the 100th time. It's just like, what am I doing? I got so many games I could be playing, but instead I'm just back to the shit that I've played in the past. But My Time at Portia, yeah, I don't got much to say about this, really, because I was just genuinely delighted by this game. I think it's a wonderful game for the whole family to enjoy. And yeah, check it out. If you like a game like Harvest Moon or Breath of the Wild, I'd highly recommend this game. beautiful game. I love the color palette and the art style, and it's a very pleasant game. And I can't smile enough in regard to this game. I just thinking about it now, it brings such happy memories up. And really look forward to playing it again sometime soon. Number 8. This is a strange one for me, but it's number 8, Puyo Puyo Champions. I used to have a roommate who was obsessed with this game, this Puyo Puyo game, and literally I would sit on the couch with him while he's playing this video game for it felt like hours on end. But you know, we'd be smoking and drinking and listening to podcasts or music and shit like that. And I just became so addicted to watching him because he was so like I'm nowhere near as good as he is, mind you. Like I can't chain together much of a combo to save my life. I think the most I've gotten in this game was either between like 5 or 7, and if I got up to 7 or even 8 for that matter, it was just out of sheer luck. And most of this game, it kind of feels like luck, but there's this real strategy to this game that I really grew addicted to, and it was playing this version of the game that made me realize why this friend of mine played this game so often as well, because it's genuinely addicting. It's very addicting, and also the reason why I picked this instead of something like, say, Tetris Effect, which, by the way, Tetris Effect, $53.49 for Tetris Effect. Are you serious? Come on. I'm not paying $53 damn dollars for a Tetris game. Are you serious? I don't care how pretty the game looks. I don't care what the hell music you put into it. Tetris is not a game that's worth over $50, let alone over $20. And even half off the game, like 26 something, God knows what. That's robbery. That is criminal to charge that much for Tetris. Like I don't care. And that game's been out for what, like 5 years, and it's still like the most they can take off the base price for that game is half. Give me a break, you schmucks, you swindlers. You should be ashamed of yourselves, because Tetris has been around since it feels like the dawn of man at this point. And you have the audacity to charge basically retail price for something like that. That is complete and utter nonsense in my opinion. Whereas this game, I found it was on sale so often, like basically every other time they threw a new sale set of deals up there, I would always see like this Puyo Puyo Champions every other time. And after a while, it's just like, you know what? I'm going to get it. Screw it. And then I got it, played it literally constantly. There was a point where I was playing it where it seemed like every other match I was getting trophy. And it's one of those games, it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like you're getting better at the game itself through simply playing it. And I appreciate games like that reward you through the amount of time that you put into it. And I'd actually be curious to try the online version to see how other players stack up, because this is a lot of fun. And normally I don't really care about online gaming at all. But this would be a fun one, I would think, and it'd be fun to see how other players stack up. You know, especially with a schmuck like me, I'd probably just get annihilated right away. You know, I find I often get focused on the other player's screen and I try to copy what the hell they're doing, but always like that just works against you, because you're just gonna be like flatlined by the end. You're just gonna get all these blocks falling on you, and you're just gonna be screwed. So anyhow, on to number 9, we got, and this is a perfect game in my opinion. This is a classic game. Number 9, Rayman Legends. What a marvelous treat this was, you guys. This is one of the best games I've ever played. Quite possibly the best kid-friendly game I've ever played. There are certain levels in this where you're jumping, and it's in the, like, it's to the beat of a certain song done instrumentally, And I won't spoil what some of those songs are in case you haven't played this game, but I'd say look it up if you're curious and you don't have the means to play it. But also, I'd say go out of your way, get this game, play it right now if you can, especially if you have a kid. This game was a lot of fun. It's colorful. It's very easy to control, pick up and play. Just and delightful characters, delightful character designs. And it very much harkens back to my days of playing Super Mario 64 and stuff like that. More so, I'd say Super Mario World than 64, because 64 was more 3D. This is like 3D side scroller, whereas Super Mario 64 was like 3D platformer. This is a platformer as well. And yeah, I just grew so addicted to this game. I grew addicted to replaying levels over and over and over again until I completely 100%ed them all, got the most amount of tokens or what have you, or those little creatures as possible, those little golden creatures as possible. Yeah, I don't got too much to say about this game, but quite honestly, this might be the best family-friendly, kid-friendly game that I've quite possibly ever played in my life. This was such a surprise to me. And like Puyo Champions, this game's quite often on sale on the PlayStation Store. So if you see it on sale, hell, I think it's only $19.99 regular retail price. I'd say get this game in a heartbeat, you guys. This was a real marvel, real genuine treasure, and I couldn't be happier to play it. I couldn't be happier to talk about it, quite frankly. And yeah, I wish there were more games like this on PS4, because they're, you know, they have Sonic, they have Crash, they have Spyro and stuff like that, but it's just like nothing can stack up to Rayman Legends, in my opinion. This was such a delightful game overall, and also the online component, like the daily challenges they have, they're great. They're great. I got addicted to replaying this one from like a few months back, and yeah, it's stuff like that proves to me that this company, this studio behind this game, genuinely cares about their audience. They're not charging you for extra fucking DLC. They're not slobs like Rockstar, having you buy fucking shark cards in order to be one of the top players right away on GTA 5. You know, like, they're not Bethesda. They're not these money grubbing hacks. They genuinely care about delivering a great game and delivering you constant updates and challenges. And yeah, it's refreshing to see a studio, whoever the studio behind Rayman Legends is. It might even be Sony themselves. I'm not quite sure, because I do assume that it's an exclusive on PlayStation 4. I'm not quite sure overall, but either way, I'd highly recommend this game. I think it's a masterpiece. Quite frankly, it's underrated, and more people should definitely play this game and have the time of their lives with it. And finally, number 10. Before we go, I got some honorable mentions as well. I'll quickly plow through those though. So number 10, final game on this list of 10, we got Wreckfest. Wreckfest, you know, where Rayman Legends is the best game for kids that I've played on the PS4, Wreckfest is easily the best racing game that I've played on the PS4. And it's also way better than Burnout Paradise, which they remastered for the PS4. I always thought that game was pretty fucking terrible, quite honestly. Burnout Paradise, like, I don't know why, like, even saying the name was a struggle for me for some reason. But that game was a colossal disappointment, because it does this cardinal sin of making a damn racing game open world. I don't know what the hell the obsession is with making racing games open world, but to me it just rings hollow. Like, it's like, I don't need to drive around like for 5 minutes just to get to this one event. I would rather just like have a menu, have some good music playing in the background, maybe have the commentator, you know, like a Burnout 3 Takedown, Why couldn't we get a remaster of that? Why couldn't we get a remaster of Burnout Revenge? Games that don't rely on this open world aesthetic. Games that just are simple and place you in events and let you replay them with ease. Whereas in this game, in this damn game, like Burnout Paradise, I'm sorry, this is a rant on Burnout Paradise now, you guys. In Burnout Paradise, like, in order to replay the event, if you finish like second or third or whatever, you have to go all the way back, restart it, redo the damn race again, and it's so annoying. It's like, I'd rather just, you know, click pause, scroll down one, and click restart. Just like on Wreckfest here. In Wreckfest, this game, wow, blew my mind. The destructibility of these cars, the constant updates. Like, there's this update I noticed the other day that I haven't even touched on yet because I'm still in the main campaign. I'm still doing like the championships and career mode and stuff like that. But by God, this is a game like Puyo Puyo Champions that I would love to play online just to see how I stack up to other players. It's a lot of fun just simply taking your car and like ramming it right into somebody's side, like T-boning them, or you know, just crashing into them head on, destruction derby style. And there's so many different event styles and different track styles. I found this game incredibly refreshing, especially compared to some overrated track like Burnout Paradise. That game is absolutely overrated in my opinion. Nowhere near the quality of Burnout 3 Takedown. And thank God for Wreckfest, because I was getting so pissed at just realizing how slim the racing games were, you know, like, and I prefer arcadey racing games. I hate racing games like these like Gran Turismo. I could never get into because it's just like, it's too simulator-esque, I guess. It's like, I would rather just race these cars in real life rather than, you know, oh, be put into the driver's seat of this Formula 1 car. I don't care. Like, I just want to smash into other cars. I just want to, you know, try to beat my destruction score or what have you. I don't know, man. I just want to have fun. I don't want to have to worry about, you know, the only objective being, you know, finish first, get the best time, blah blah blah. That stuff's so boring. And Wreckfest was a real delightful find in my opinion. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with this game. And yeah, yeah, it's definitely one of the best games I've got listed on here. For these 10 that I've listed, I'd say my favorites are Wreckfest, Rayman Legends, Puyo Puyo Champions, My Time at Portia, and Everspace. Yeah, so I'll say those are my 5 favorites on here. Maybe you could fit Frostpunk into there. I don't know. Like, these games like fluctuate from time to time. But I'd say those 5 or 6 that I mentioned are definitely the standouts of these 10. But let's get to the honorable mentions because I'm sweating bullets here and I can't wait to have a cigarette. Anyhow, honorable mentions. First one up here is Danger Zone. I think I did this intentionally, even though these honorable mentions are in alphabetical order as well. But Danger Zone is basically from the creators of from the same team as Burnout 3 Takedown. And the reason why this is only an honorable mention is because there's literally not much to this game. It's literally just the crash mode from Burnout 3 Takedown, except it's in this, and it's lacking the soundtrack, and it's lacking the graphical finesse of even that PS2 classic. But, you know, for a budget title, you know, and I found this game on sale for very cheap. I think I only paid like $4 or $5 for it, maybe even less. I forget. But I was genuinely delighted to have discovered this game. It's definitely a buried treasure. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun, just reliving those crash mode events from my childhood playing Burnout 3 Takedown, because that is legitimately, Burnout 3 Takedown is legitimately my favorite game of all time. That is peak racing game in my opinion. Peak arcade style gaming, absolutely perfect soundtrack. everything about that game I thought was brilliant. And how the hell they haven't done a remaster of that and Burnout Revenge alike is beyond me. And quite frankly, I think EA can go fuck themselves for the fact that they decide to remaster Burnout Paradise instead. Give me a break. Come on, that game came out the last console generation. Like, sure, you got a sucker like me to buy it, but I only bought it because it was on sale and there's no other Burnout game to play on the PS4 except for this shit. So obviously, I'm going to play it just out of spite because I want a bit of that classic nostalgia that I got from Burnout 3 Takedown. Oh, but what a disappointment that Burnout Paradise was. I can't stress that enough. That game is so overrated, and it pisses me off that so many people write it off as, oh no, it's so good, it's so good. No, it's not. Piss off with you. Next game. Next game, Skyhill. This was an interesting one. This was like only a gigabyte to download, so like of all the games I think I got listed on here, this might be the one that takes up the least space. I mean, it's a cross between it's a contest between Citizens of Earth and maybe another game that I got listed on here as well, and maybe Puyo Puyo Champions is pretty low in terms of the space it takes up on your console. But Skyhill, wow, I was addicted to this game for a while, and I had games like Wreckfest to play that I got at the same time as this. I think I sort of just downloaded this out of curiosity. I didn't look up any reviews for it. I don't know what the reception is, quite frankly, and nor do I care, because it reminds me of some of those those classic Flash games I used to play as a kid on the computer, where it's literally just a simple premise. It's almost like the Die Hard premise. You know, you're stuck at the top floor, you're in this VIP room, and you try to escape the building by going to the very bottom floor. But the enemies, the zombies in this game, get progressively harder. And you know, I guess this must be available for the PS, or I mean for the PC as well, because they say point and survive. But, you know, obviously it's kind of hard to point and survive on the PS4, so instead you're sort of just clicking down and going to the next floor, and you try to enter rooms. Some are locked, some have big, creepy, disgusting-looking zombies, and they get more freakish and freakish, you know, as you progress downwards. And, you know, I found the zombies in this to be quite interesting. I loved some of the perks you get through, you know, progressing through this game. My favorite perk is one where literally everything you search, you get like multiple items. And the only downside to it is that once in a while, like every 10 steps or something like that, you lose one item. But I laughed at it because it's like, this is clearly the best perk in the game, but it's kind of a pain in the ass as well. Because like you'll need like a VIP card in order to get to your room, but at certain points, like you'll say, you know, oh, I need this one item, I need to keep this, and then all of a sudden you'll be playing, and then you'll take the 10th step, and then boom, the item's gone. Like I crafted at least 2 weapons in this one playthrough, and it took me forever to craft these weapons, but I was only able to do it with this perk set on. So thank God for it in the long run as well. But it kind of annoyed me. It would take away the weapon that I just worked my ass off to build. And yeah. So, but anyhow, you know, nitpicking aside, I love this game. I still have yet to get the platinum on it, and I'm dedicated to it. I definitely want to get the platinum to this game because I've just had such a blast playing it so far. And I think that's honestly the least I can do is get the 100% score on this game, because it's just delighted me to this very day. And yeah, I'm happy to be talking about it with you guys. Definitely recommend Skyhill. Next honorable mention is Sleeping Dogs. This came out for the PS3. Yeah, the PS3, because PS2 wouldn't have been able to handle it, I wouldn't think. But yeah, this was on the PS3, got remastered for the PS4. And yeah, this is a very fun game. I don't think it's quite as enjoyable as the Yakuza series, like whether it be Yakuza 0 or Yakuza Kiwami or Kiwami 2. But Sleeping Dogs, I like the combat in this game. I like the ability to jump out of your car and jump onto another one and hijack that. That was kind of cool. And I like the voice actors in this. I like the characters. The story to this game I found surprising because I was expecting it to go down the predictable route of, oh, your friend character's going to betray you and blah blah blah. But one thing leads to another, and then it's like, oh, okay, that was unexpected. You know, to avoid spoilers, to try to be as vague about it as possible. Even alluding to it, I feel like may have spoiled it, but whatever. At least I didn't outright spoil what the hell happens in case you haven't played this game yet. But Sleeping Dogs, I don't got much to say about this, except for the fact that I like the idea of playing as an undercover cop, and I think they utilize this premise pretty damn well when it comes to all the mechanics throughout this game. And yeah, like it was refreshing to play this in contrast to something like Grand Theft Auto 5, which is so fucking overblown and it takes up such space on your hardware that it's just like, and they're doing all these updates for the online mode, and it's just always trying to entice you to buy these shark cards or in-game currency cards, whatever the hell they call that crap. But it's just like, you know, like when I got so sick of Grand Theft Auto 5, it was a game like this that really brought me back to the open world action, you know, gaming genre. Even Mafia 3, in my opinion, is better than Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, and the graphics in that game are far superior to Grand Theft Auto 5 as well, in my opinion. Yeah, and the soundtrack as well. The soundtrack is amazing for that game. Classic songs in Mafia 3. I don't really remember the soundtrack to Sleeping Dogs, though, so I'd say that might be a detriment. But it's a lot of Hong Kong-based artists, I presume, or a lot of like artists from Japan, China, whatever Asian descent. But it gives you like this. It's got this odd sort of like classiness to it, in contrast to some of the profanity and the violence and the odd way the female characters are treated in this. Now that might be a detriment that I have, is that like Emma Stone is apparently in this game, but she must only have done voice work for it for like 5 to 10 minutes, because, you know, at one point I'm like, oh, Emma Stone's in this, because you see her name on the cast list. You go, oh, Emma Stone's in this. But then it's like she pops up at the beginning, and then she pops up midway through, like you have a mission with her, you drive her around or something. And then it's implied that you have sex with her, and then she's done. Her story is done. You don't hear from her again. It's just like, that's it? Oh, come on. that was a waste of time. You might as well have hired anybody for this role. But whatever. Moving on now. Next honorable mention, Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania. Like, I don't have much to say about this, but this is by far the best Sonic game that I've ever played, because it's literally a remaster of I guess it's kind of a remaster, kind of a new thing. I don't really know, but yeah, this harkens back to classic Sega Genesis Sonic, 2D, fast speed. Like I love this game. Probably the only disappointment I have with it is the lack of a platinum trophy, which I just found to be ridiculous. I find it to be, any game that doesn't have a platinum trophy, in my opinion, is kind of ridiculous. I think Danger Zone is the same way as well, where it's lacking a platinum trophy as well. It's just absurd. It's like, come on, guys. Is it that hard to have a platinum trophy in your game? Maybe? I don't know. It's so stupid, though. Next game, next honorable mention, Starlink, Battle for Atlas. This is very much in the same vein of Everspace, except I'd relate this more to No Man's Sky, in that this is probably what people wanted from No Man's Sky, in that it is entirely ship-based. You're in your cockpit the entire time, you're flying around, there's none of that on-ground exploring caves and shit. You're just in your ship, you're flying around, you're discovering animals or new elements and whatnot on on planets. You're trying to build up resources, trying to build up. You're trying to like fully uncover the entirety of a planet. And I loved flying around in this game. I loved, you know, simply hitting. I think it's a circle button you hit to boost, and I always got this space sort of thrill from just doing that, you know. And yeah, and the combat's not too bad either. It's simplistic. It's you know, and it very much kind of holds your hand to a certain extent. But I don't know. I found this game a lot of fun. And yeah, it's worth playing alone just for the fact that you can like take your ship, you can fly it off the planet, and you can like suddenly seamlessly enter into the solar system. You can fly from planet to planet, and there's like this little like a cutscene to show you like going through the atmosphere of said planet that you're on and out into space. But it's seamless. The way they do it, it's seamless, and it's well done, and it doesn't take you out of the game. And it's commendable. I really loved this game, and you know, like most of these games, all these games, I can't wait to go back and replay it some more. And final game here, because I'm sweating my balls off here, you guys. Final game is Strider. This was a pleasant surprise. I think this is a Capcom game, if I'm not mistaken. Capcom does some good stuff and some bad stuff from what I recall as well. But this is one of the better things that they've done in recent memory, at least as far as I'm concerned. This game's very simple, very pick up and play. At least I found it. Like it does have this sort of bite, this sort of challenging edge to it, I guess. Like one of the hardest trophies from what I saw on the trophy list for it is try to beat this game in 4 hours or less. And at this point, I'm just playing through it for my first time, exploring every nook and cranny, trying to uncover every little detail that I can. And quite honestly, I could see myself playing this game a second time once I finally beat it for the first time. I think I might have it on hard difficulty, but I'm not sure. Maybe I have it on normal for now. If you can even set a difficulty to it. I can't remember if they have difficulty or not. But yeah, I love the control scheme to this. I love the quickness of it, how agile your character is. You can literally climb, scale up walls, and it feels very smooth and responsive, and you're constantly learning new tactics and move sets and whatnot. And you know, I found this game to be constantly engaging, entertaining, and most importantly, a lot of fun. And you guys, that's it. By God, this was a hot and sweaty one. But not as hot and as sweaty as some of the days that I've been crazy enough to film videos like these on. I'm surprised I could go for the full length here without passing out, falling backwards, having my cat wondering what the hell happened to me. But anyhow, that's it. I bid you well. Check out these games if you got a PS4, and if you don't, I wonder how the hell you even got to this part of the video to begin with. But I appreciate you all watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end here. Like I know that's quite an endeavor with hearing me ramble and rave for God knows how long. This is probably an hour-long video. This will probably take 15 years to upload to YouTube. I'll probably be 80 by the time this is on there. Who knows? But anyhow, it's been a pleasure talking with you guys about these hidden treasure video games that I love for the PS4. I hope you give them a shot at some point in time, especially if they're on sale. And yeah, let me know what you think of them if you've already played them, and I'll see you on the next video. Probably talking about movies, of course, next one. What a surprise, right? Take care, everybody.